Chalo, in this sociology and psychological perspective, now we are going to value. Now I am taking you to value, sociology to psychology. Ethics as a social system. Society is basically a system which is complex. Do you agree? See, try to understand between these two, which is more complex? Obviously the phone that I am holding in my hand is more complex than this pen. Now between this phone functioning and my body functioning, which is more complex? My body functioning is more complex, right? Try to understand the same way. What he is trying to tell here is society is basically a system which is very complex, because people are there from various ages, from various cultural backgrounds, with various traditional backgrounds, with various geographical backgrounds, with various age backgrounds, different muscle power, different way of thinking, different way of behavior. All these things is very complex. So in a society, if things are not eased out, you will keep killing each other. Yes or no? When you lived in a jungle, it was much more complex. Now does human today as a species, does he struggle to coexist with another human? Maybe some amount of struggle is there, but it is not as difficult as it was maybe 5,000 years or 10,000 years or 20,000 years. With me? Hello, with me? It means the complexity of the society is a dynamic concept. समझ में आ रहा है? You understood when I made a statement, the complexity of the society is dynamic. For example, till I was a child, I was told that there is only male and female. Now I am told there is a transgender also. I got confused. Now my mind, because my abstract capability is weak, I cannot construct who is a transgender, whether he is a male or a female, because my mind has not been tuned to understand that there is a possibility of third gender also. So, but because the society is becoming more and more complex, new and new things are coming. Today there is an article in Hindu, it is talking about artificial intelligence and legislation. How you can use artificial intelligence in enhancing the scope of legislation. Legislation earlier was बैठ के rule law लिखना. When in 1947 to 1950 your constitution was written, though it was a complex job then, but it was more easier job to do probably than today's governance structure. So try to understand, society is basically a system which is complex. Differentiate between simple and complex system. Now when I say why I am trying to differentiate in the first place between simple and complex system, what is the agenda? Why do I want to differentiate? This is simple system, this is complex system. Basically to bring in understand, try to understand this. The reason why the laws are universal is to bring in harmony. A rich person does not have a different rule and a poor person does not have a different rule. When it comes to criminal law, it is universally applicable. Even if you are a president of India, if you have committed an act of murder or rape, you will be tried as a common man only. You does not get any privileges when you are being accused of certain crimes, especially criminal crimes, right? You might have certain safeguards against civil offences, but when it comes to criminal offences, you will not get any exception, being the president or being the prime minister of this particular country. Okay? Now, how society is complex, try to understand. There is economic system, there is political system, please make a note, there is a educational system, there is religious system and the system of social control. And out of all this, the most complex is the religious system. This is the most complex, the entire society. See, believe me, if this was removed from the society, the world would have been much better place to live. Believe. Had this dimension removed from society, the world would have been much better place to live. But the problem is, This was brought in to control your same society in the process of evolution. Because the man, because of the muscle power and the recently gained intellect power, started being ruthless killer, headhunters, people getting different heads. I tell, okay, you will pass UPSC if you go for your interview with 20 heads, 10 heads in your hand, left hand, 10 heads in your right hand. What the first thing you will do on the first day of the class? You will take those 10 heads and go home and sleep peacefully, because this is the criteria to pass UPSC examination. I gave you an example, no? Afghanistan, when the takeover happened, when the Americans left, did any voting happen? When the district collector was to be elected, did he appear in any examination? What was his premise of gaining control? The AK-47 in his hand and the rounds in his pocket. That decided that he will become what? So power determined what you will become. And over a period of time, if you remember, I told about the medieval European history, these were the people who amassed the entire power in the society. So this particular system in the society has been one of the most complex systems in this particular space and time of humanity. This is fairly understood. This is fairly understood. This is fairly understood. But this is where lot of inertia is coming into play. So this is when you have to understand why society is complex. If they ask you a question, please make a note. Question: discuss how ethics is a social system where we strive to differentiate between simple and complex system. See, I will give an example in society, simple system. The mother and the children relationship is simple. Yes or no? We generally do not complexify that. If you are successful of doing that, then you are in the top 25%. Okay? Generally, it is said that the parents and children, at least in India, it is complex in America. It is very complex in America. But in India, there is a very simple system in society between a parent and a children, between a student and a teacher, between a friend and another friend. Yes or no? But when you talk about complex system, these are the set of complex systems that are existing in our society. See, when you talk about complexity, what is the complex system of political? You know that the world was divided into two, what you call, groups during the Cold War, because they did not agree upon a common political system. One was supporting democracy, the other was supporting communism or socialism, whatever it is. So there was a differentiation of belief in the political system that led to the Cold War for good about 50 years. That's how you try to tell. Then you talk about the educational system. Anybody? Educational system. Do you think your educational system is the best? No. Why? Is it by default or design? It is by design, so that you do not get capabilities or you do not develop the ability to question the authority of people holding power. That is the reason why the education system has been redesigned. It was initially not so, but it has been redesigned to make you submissive from day one. To make you submissive from day one, because the Britishers, Macaulay, if you ask me one bad person in the entire British rule in India, he is Macaulay, because he completely erased your olden school of thought of education and redesigned it, so that an element of submissiveness to the British rule comes naturally in Indians, and that is continuing even till today. This is what the government, as part of the new national curriculum framework, the NCF, is trying to redo the sins that have been committed by Macaulay. So try to understand why your educational system has been designed in a particular way, so that you become submissive to the institutions of command structures. Can you ever go to UPSC and say, what is this nonsense procedure of your selection process? Can you say that? You know, if you say that, though they do not have the authority to reject you, but they will do everything to reject you. Yes or no? Why? Because you questioned the authority of the institution that is holding so much of power. Try to understand this. Okay? See, the SSB in the army, SSB is a Service Selection Bureau. That I told you, 5 days they will make you sit and do something in, your testing will be done, psychological testing and all will be done, SSB. Now, it is said that it is a foolproof system. You cannot fool them. They said that it is a foolproof system. And there is another saying, if you can fool them, that is what they want. It means in the thick of the battlefield, your head will work, you will fool the enemy and get back, or maybe eliminate them. So that is why it is said the system is foolproof. And if you can fool them, this is what we want. This is what exactly it is said. We want two class of people. One who are fit as per this system, who are trying to go above this system. Both they take. Mediocre वाले को छोड़ देगा. Mediocre वाले को छोड़ देगा. Try to understand this. ठीक है? चलो.